Morning, guys. So it rained here really hard just now. So just opened up the shop to see if that threshold in the back did its job. If it was going to leak, it would have leaked. And this is good. I sealed that up down there at the bottom. I think water was coming in underneath the bottom, so that looks good. Let's go back to the back. Let's see. Yep, looks like we're good to go. Perfect. Well, it works. So it may get me one for the front door too. I haven't had too many problems with the front door because I have that, the way it's set up, it actually goes downhill a little bit right there. But you can still see some water is actually accumulated right at the bottom there. And so I may go ahead and put one up here just for a little extra protection. It's 60 degrees outside and 62 inside here. I had a few questions, comments maybe, not necessarily questions, on my car, and I kind of took it as the people who made the comments were joking, but maybe they weren't. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about what I had going on here. You guys seen me have this tie down strap pulled across here. Well, I work by myself, so the only reason I wasn't like pulling that in, you know what I mean, bending it in, because one guy said it looks like the fender's bent or whatever. No, these have adjustability, and so these were loose and they slide in and out. As a matter of fact, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I mean, everybody probably already knows this, but so all I did was, nope. See how that's moving back and forth? Maybe you can see that, but anyway. So that's all I did was push that in like that, pulled that strap together to where it'd hold it there so I could get in here and tighten these up. I actually wasn't ratcheting that, trying to bend this together. That's not the case. So if that was confusing, then that was what the deal was with that. What was the other comment? I don't know really at this time. I can't remember. But anyway, so that was one of the main deals. I was kind of laughing. I thought, well, maybe they were serious about that. So it's hard to tell when you're, you know, when you're just messaging back and forth. You know, you don't get to see facial expressions, or you don't get to see the body language that's going on and all that. So it's kind of like texting. Sometimes you don't know if texting is, they're being serious or if they're trying to be funny or whatever. But work this out. You can see where the weld was here, just slightly, and it turned out pretty nice. There's the underneath side, and I'll seal that with epoxy and a little bit of seam sealer. And I haven't done the other side yet. You can still see it's the same as it was. I worked on this quite a bit yesterday because when I welded this in, instead of planishing it, and this is, you guys can learn from me on this. You weld, say 4 or 5 tacks in there, grind those tacks down, and then planish it out. Planish those to where it, because what I did was I seam welded this up, you know, a little bit at a time, but it still made it to where it V'd out pretty bad. Now you can see now it's gone, because I planished it all out basically, so it's literally perfectly straight. But it took a lot, is what I'm getting at. It took a lot of planishing. If I had have tacked that in, planished it, tacked a couple more in, then planished those down to keep this from warping so bad, I wouldn't have had to work that out that hard. So what I'm going to do on this one is just that. I'll probably go ahead and zip these down and make sure that, which I think at this point it's pretty good. Yeah, see, it's fine. there's really no draw in on that one. But as I start going and putting 3 or 4 tacks together, then I'll probably go ahead and zip those down and planish it out to make sure this doesn't try to bend up on me, you know what I mean? So anyway, so yeah, I'll probably complete this today. I gotta go work out right now. Yeah, I started working out again. It sucks bad, but I need to do it because of my job, and there's really no excuse to not do it, especially with my job. So it's almost required. So all right, what else? Somebody commented on, I think Flash3231 commented on making sure the radiator support was all together. That is actually something that I had not considered, so I appreciate that comment. You were saying that needed to be aligned good before you did the gaps. Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I had not considered that. I'm sure there is a little bit of adjustability down here underneath where the spacers are, and I had not considered that. I don't, however, just thinking about it now, I don't, however, think that would have helped that issue, because literally that was holding the gaps too far apart, you know what I mean? So I had to cut that down anyway. Even if I had adjusted this one way or the other, it would have just changed. If anything, it would have changed my side gaps. But yeah, I don't think it was going to draw it wouldn't have been able to allow me to pull my fenders in anymore. So I still had to cut that down to get those gaps the way I wanted them. So, but yeah, I've got good adjustability on both sides where I can bring these fenders in and out. And so yeah, I didn't want you guys thinking, which, hey, that's also, you know, sometimes you have to do that. So don't get me wrong. That's definitely an option. I've seen guys do that in the back, run a strap across and pull stuff together and actually flex it and pull it together. Sometimes you have to do that on these old cars. I mean, that's definitely not something that's a big no-no, because I've seen all kinds of stuff. I remember when I first went to the body shop, my first day in there, there was a car sitting in there, and this whole ass end was crushed completely in. And I thought, they'll just replace that whole thing. No, they fixed it. And I couldn't believe, because I'm thinking, well, this bodywork stuff is all precise. You got these laser alignment, blah, 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 which you do. But this body shop didn't have all that stuff, and they made it work anyway. This guy's in there with a big-ass sledgehammer and a 2x4. And he's on the inside of this thing just beating the shit out of that, beating all that back out. And I thought, there's no way. I mean, it was wrinkled all to hell. I was like, there's no way he's going to fix that. When that car left that shop, you'll never be able to tell it was ever hit there. Hey guys, so several hours later, and you see the threshold here. It looks like a little bit of water's got in around that side. And it's raining hard, like ridiculously hard. Hard enough that it's flooding in underneath the front. You can see there, they've got tornado warnings and all kinds of crap going on for us right now, which is just nuts because it's freaking winter. But yeah, that's Oklahoma weather for you. Anyway, so yeah, threshold will be in my future for the front. So I was going to take you along on this. You can see I've got the tacks ground down, okay? And then on the bottom, they're ground down as well. So everything's flat. And now what I'll do is I'll come in here behind this and I'll planish this down, because, let's see if I can get you to see what I'm seeing here. All right, let's see. I don't know how well that'll show up, but you can see right there to the right. Let's put the 4 right in the center of of the deal there. And then right to the right of the 4, you see a gap. Okay, if I hold that right, you can see a gap. So the weld is starting to, see there, it's starting to suck that down in some places, and it's a little bit lower. So this is where that planishing comes in to get those, this side here, to pull, to get it back up. So this is where you're going to take your hammer on dolly. You're going to put your dolly underneath there and use whatever's closest to that shape. Toe dolly. I've been using this dolly here and just kind of moving it around. And then I'll take my spoon, my slapping spoon, and come down on this and get this to planish it back up. You can also take your hammer, especially on these little tacks, and just hit the tacks and do it, and that's probably what I'll do this time. But as I get this, as I start to finish this in, I'll use the slapping spoon to come back and finish this out. So, all right, I'll show you kind of my progress as I go. See you. Hammer on dolly, you can hear that pinging, that's what you want. I just went along to each one of these and just kind of planished them down a little bit. And we'll bring it back over here. Just propped up again. All right, let's see. Put that same 4 on there. Okay, you can see there's no gap. There's a gap there, but that's where the panel comes off, and there's supposed to be that. But right there in between those, you see what I'm saying? And then down here, literally no gap, or very, very little. So I got the gap out, and I'll have to continue to do that as I close this up, just tapping and going on. But I thought I'd kind of show you that. I think that's going to work out better than that one did, because like I said, I sewed this all up and then went back and planished it, which it worked. I got it out, but it was a lot more work, I think, than this will be if I just kind of go along and do it this way. Anyway, just another thought. See you guys. All right, guys, had a few questions. Actually, I only had one question, but it was a good question about whether modifying that was going to mess with the grill or not. Well, it didn't. That grill that's sitting in there is my grill. He's got a factory RS grill with the factory headlights. This was an aftermarket one. Since my car wasn't an RS, this is a billet grill basically. And of course, it's just sitting in there. Those need to go up a little bit more on each side. I'd have to adjust it, but literally I put like 4 or 5 bolts to hold the whole thing in there. And see, that thing just popped down. So these aren't even really, they're just sitting in there. But anyway, kind of give you an idea, give me an idea if that was going to mess with the grill any, and it doesn't appear like it's going to at all. And also, Daryl, I went ahead and took the opportunity to go ahead and put some ghost flames in there for you. So if you want to see what your car looks like with ghost flames, there you go. You're welcome. So, yeah, looks good. And, like I said, once I get all that all sucked in tight and everything, I think it'll look a lot better. Of course, this isn't going to be the one I just said that. Anyway, there's the fix. Everything looks good here. Everything looks nice here. All the gaps are good. Now this gap here is a little bigger than 3/16, but or at least it's not out here. In the middle it is just a tad, but I think that's just, we're just gonna have to live with that unless I end up putting some stock, and I may talk to the owner about that, but I really don't want to weld anything to this hood. And again, when you weld stuff to the hood, I had several people comment on that too. Unless you're going to weld a rod to the hood to close this, when you go to car shows, you raise the hood up. Well, when the hood's up, you'll be able to see that rod unless you do something to fill it with fiberglass or lead or something to smooth it to where it's not detectable. And yeah, that's a lot more work. So, you know, that'd be another freaking 8 hours of work probably. But yeah, it looks good. Like I said, it's dirty. That's why I drew the ghost flames in it. It's got a lot of dust in it from grinding and all that kind of stuff. But I like it. I think it looks pretty good. It'll look a lot better with wheels on it and, you know, raked out like it's supposed to. Doesn't have a motor in it right now, so it's sitting up too high. But makes it look a whole lot more like a car. Finally, just putting the grill and the front pieces on made a big difference. Now I don't have the lower front fender pieces on there yet, but I'm not going to put those on there because I've seen everything that needs to be done, and from here I'm going to start popping the holes that I talked about like freaking 3 or 4 days ago, and then I'm going to start blowing it back apart and getting it ready for getting it prepped up for epoxy. And then from there we'll start working on getting all those panels laser ass straight and put it back together, put some high build on it, block all that down. Actually, I'll probably put the high build on it, give it back to him so he can, hell, I may, thinking about it, I may just blow that thing apart and get it all in epoxy. Paint the firewall on the inside, dash and all that kind of stuff, and give it back to him with the front end off of it. It'd be a whole lot easier for him to put that motor and transmission and everything in it without that front end on it. So that may be a better option. So we'll just have to see. I'll have to get a hold of him and see what he thinks. I'm sure he'll watch this, and you can get a hold of me, Daryl, and tell me what you think about that. But yeah, there you go. It's not your grill, but it's a grill. His grill's in this box over here, which is or his hideaway headlights. They're all wrapped up. I'm not going to take them out of there. They're all protected. I'm not going to mess them up. But yeah, they're in these boxes. So, and Daryl, I don't think I have the grill. Not that I really need it, but I don't have that centerpiece for yours. All I have is the end headlights, and you probably just put those in there because there's a good place to store them. But yeah, this grill is really dirty.
I missed that.
Shut up, Siri. It needs to be cleaned. That's black in there, and then this needs to be polished. That grill's been sitting up in my attic for probably 2 or 3 years. So anyway, yeah, I got a mess again. I'll probably end that here. This has actually been several days. Like I said, I had the water come in. It's still raining like crazy out there. I tried to put a plastic bag underneath that side to keep it out. But you can see it's still coming in under that door. Man, it's just pouring. And there you go, it's coming under that door. And it comes under the door and then it runs down the sides there and then runs across the shop. Which really sucks, but until I get a threshold. Till it stops raining and I get a threshold and it's above 45 and blah, blah, blah. So, all the above. All right, guys, I'm going to shut it down tonight. I'm going to spend some time with my family. And I'll probably come out tomorrow and start piddling again. So, I'll talk to you guys later. See you.